And we're back. It's Sunday night. I'm back as well after a little sabbatical. It's good to see everyone. And most of all, it's good to see my good friends on a Sunday night yet again. And irrespective of where we left off, I'm still a miserable Evertonian, still not knowing what league we're playing in next year. And it's not good. Anyway, Charlie and Stephen, how are you guys?
We're doing well, thank you.
There you go. You see, I knew that. See, I knew what was going to happen.
Is what he's doing.
2 out of 4, right? So
2 out of 4 for minute, Charlie. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's not rub it into John's face right now. We'll have more.
I tell you what, I bet you two of you got a bit excited at West Ham this afternoon. I bet at half-time, I bet you were just thinking, oh, there we go, sorted. And then City come back and...
I'll take the draw, John. I'll take the draw.
Yeah.
Right? But what that does for us now is, I was saying in the house after we won the FA Cup and our second trophy, like Charlie just said there of the season.
What, second trophy? Just slip that one in there, mate.
Oh, just the second trophy this season. Only number 2.
In the last few weeks, yeah.
I was saying, well, on Tuesday, I'm thinking we got Southampton away, and I'm thinking, well, Jurgen needs a little word in his ear and say, don't play the strong team, don't play the team that you won in the Champions League final, because realistically, we're not going to win the league, because if City had won today, you're looking at City to lose by so many and us to win by so many, because the goal difference is really goal. City now old. However, after Bowen's heroics, who, may I add, I would love to see him in a Liverpool shirt next season. I would. Bowen. Yeah. After his heroics today. An unfortunate own goal, really, what I thought. City got fortunate with that one.
Yeah.
But City were the better team in the second half, even though West Ham did blow them away in the first.
And Mahrez missed his penalty, which could have really just sunk the whole thing altogether, couldn't it? But
that was brilliant. I was thinking that was it over. But
after that, I actually felt. Sorry, I'm jumping in a little bit, but I actually felt this is something that is stuck with me about City for quite a while. Is the fact that they seemingly have no one who can take a decent penalty. And they keep going through this spell. They keep having different players. I think Gundogan last season went through a spell where he started missing. Sterling was missing. You then had Jesus, who was missing pens. So they're kind of trying to spread it around to see who can actually take a penalty. And then you look at you guys and Chelsea, where you've been at 2 cup finals and it's gone to sudden death. And you've got players who are taking the most exceptional penalties, time after time after time, and it's got to be something, because I think it's something that City are missing a trick here.
You got Alfie and Allen coming, John.
Yeah, there you go, penalty taker extraordinaire.
I was actually it was funny because Harrison's you said hello there,
Hey, Harrison.
And then we've got Stacey as well. Hello, Stacey. How are you doing? So we've got...
Hi, Stacey. Thanks for joining us.
Like I say, Addison was saying, Mahrez, he'll score the penalty. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I remember Skying one against us one year. I'm absolutely sticking it in. I think every couple of hours, I think you still see that ball float past the International Space Station. I was thinking, I was exactly where you just said there, John. Like, City don't have an out-and-out penalty taker where we have. We've got, like, Salah, he'll just bang it away for fun. Tottenham have got Kane, who stuck one away today. You think about a City player who sticks the penalties on. Mahrez steps up, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know when he's going to get this. And to be honest with you, while it was a good save from the keeper, it was a poor penalty.
Yeah.
Absolutely poor penalty. Yeah. It was the right height for the keeper and the right place for the keeper to, if he's guessing the right way, to go there. Yeah.
And that's perhaps somewhere a good place to actually start, isn't it? Because actually, I know we always talk about Premier League, but with you guys winning your second trophy, second trophy of the season, and And actually, yeah, I'm trying not to choke as I'm saying it, but yeah, second.
I get lost
champion
after
season.
one, John. Now what comes after one again?
I tell you, I'd be quite happy with one. That would be a start, wouldn't it? Like, you know. But I tell you, what a boring FA Cup final that was.
Oh,
It was like watching a game of chess, and once again, it's the penalties that see you guys through. Now, the difference between this one, I think, was it Kelleher was the goalie for the Carabao Cup.
Goalkeepers, didn't he? He went all the way
Yeah,
to the goalkeepers
and then
League Cup.
But then you had Alisson was superb yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought that was his moment of showing the difference between being the young lad coming up and through the ranks and actually being that whole number one keeper, because actually he was immense.
Oh, definitely. Is Sarah come in now?
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah,
he saved us multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not like we didn't have our chances too. It's like we hit the post like twice within like 5 minutes. I think it was insane too. It's just like, so sometimes like I think the announcers over here, they're saying it should have been like 2-2 or 3-3, you know, with how many goals that were missed or chances that were blown yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alisson definitely showed he's earned those trophies just as much as anybody else this year.
Absolutely. Now the thing that we're go on, Stephen.
You know, like you said, I'll just pick a couple of things really. First one is just so Sarah's up to speed because she's only just come in. I was just telling you guys how busy I have been and packing all the bags and packing everything for the house and doing all the work while Sarah sat there on the phone. And then just to move on before they get a divorce letter through the
This could be the first ever. Was it Murder by YouTube? Couldn't it? It's just like you can watch Sarah coming in just a minute, bang.
Yeah, definitely. And the second point I've completely forgot because wow. No, sorry for interrupting there, lads. Go on, carry on.
No, so question for both of you: injuries, particularly Salah, and I think that to me is, you know, you've got a game on. Again, was it Tuesday night? Is your game Tuesday and then next Sunday?
I think.
Do you rest him and save and try to make sure he's fit for the Champions League final, or you know? And I think Van Dijk as well going off, I don't think helped you.
Yeah, I'm going to let Charlie answer this one first, and then I'll.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fine with them resting both Van Dijk and Salah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the ones on fire right now, anyways. I am very happy with the Mane, Jota, and Diaz up front, and I am very happy with Konate and Matip back. They've been doing fine, you know. I wouldn't have a problem with them resting Trent as well, but Gomez in there on the right side, and you know, and heck, if you're gonna go for it, just rest but Robertson on the bench too, because Tsimikas is definitely stepping up. So I'm fine with him resting those four for the Premier League, because to me it's still a long shot for the Premier League. I mean, West Ham barely. Man City showed just how at any moment they could turn it on and score, bam, 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 and they can control a game. I think it was like 84% possession at one point they had, and I think Steven Gerrard's Villa. It's a pipe dream if you think they're going to win. I mean, I know all we need is a draw, but even that, you know, they're not there. They're still like 5 or 6 guys away from being European contenders, I think. So I think you rest those guys for the Premier League, you bring them back for the Champions League and win that.
Yeah. And I think this,
I totally get where Charlie's coming from, John.
Yeah.
Totally get where Charlie's coming from on that. Yeah. But I just see it from a different side. Like I said just before, when we first started, is, you know, on Saturday I'm thinking, Well, before today, I'm thinking, well, rest our players for Tuesday night. But seeing that result, West Ham 2, Man City 2, and I'll be honest with you, I thought West Ham were good for the win. Yes, Man City had a lot of the possession. They were the most dominant team on there, but that's what you'd expect anyway. I think if it wasn't for Antonio just miscuing his shot when he was in on goal in that second half, how he didn't even get it on target is beyond me. He was miles off. I thought there's hope there. I'm with you, Charlie. I don't think Aston Villa will go to City and win. They just won't. But the fact that City have got that draw today, they drop points like we have, we've now got to go and win that game on Tuesday. That is a must-win game because I wouldn't like us to not field our strongest team. Although, what is our strongest team now? I think there's a real mixed match of what our strongest team is, and it's a credit to all the players in the squad for having us thinking that. I think we still go there. I think with Salah and with he's not been great since the African Cup of Nations, and I think we spoke about this last week, Charlie, about that. For me, I'd drop Salah anyway, whether he was fit or not. I just don't think his head's in the right space. I think he's purely about the Champions League final and getting that revenge on Real Madrid. I think that's where his head is. Keep Fabinho off. Yes, without a doubt, keep him off. I think as long as we got like Thiago and Henderson in the middle, Keita for me, I'm still lost at what he does. I would not play Keita. I'd play Jones instead.
Yeah,
I just don't know what he brings to the team. Keita, he just did nothing for me in the FA Cup final. Absolutely nothing again. The centre halves, what a year. It just goes to show what can happen in a year, because this time last year we're going the reason we suffered so much is because we didn't have Van Dijk. Now Van Dijk's injured, you're thinking, well, I'm not bothered. I've got Kanate and I've got Mata that can slip in.
I have a question for you guys.
So for me, I still think so. My thoughts have changed now. I think we play a strong team. Although I'd like to know what a weak Liverpool team is. It's probably Keita and Jones in the same midfield, and that's about as weak as gets. I'd still go with the strongest team we can possibly muster, because yes, we've got a game on Tuesday, then we've got a game on Sunday, but then we've got a whole week to rest for the Champions League final.
Yeah,
we've got 6 days. It's the biggest break these lads have had in a long time, so I think it will benefit them. But you could see in that last half an hour of the FA Cup final that we just look spent. The season is catching up with them. But it's took extra time for it to see that. But no, I'm with you, Charlie, on 90% of what you said there. But I think we need to go and win that game. I think that's a must-win game on Tuesday. Because while I don't think we'll win the quadruple, I think we're talking fantasy land still, because it's still not in our hands.
Well, I think
I'd like Liverpool to be the first team to ever take the possibility of doing it to the final day of the season.
I think the subs that would be stepping in for these guys now are probably better than what the first line guys are. So I'm definitely think we're going to win. I have no problem with subbing all those 4 out.
Definitely.
And you've got to remember, Southampton only sit 4 points above Everton in the league, and have had the most atrocious run of form. And I think that's also another one to just bear in mind. That I think the last show I was on, I think we were mentioning teams that looked as if they were wearing their Speedos and they were on the beach. And I think Southampton are very much in that sort of frame of mind.
But to coin a phrase from our friend Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Teams always pick their A game when they're playing Liverpool. It's true, though. It is,
That's a large bag of McCain's that are sitting on the shoulder there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I want to know, did Oxlade-Chamberlain kick Klopp's cat or something? He's not even getting played at all now.
Don't know.
He's like, okay, he's already up for sale, but don't play him anymore. Wow.
You don't know. I mean, I'm excited for the summer transfers. I'm not going slightly off subject here. I'm excited for the summer transfers for Liverpool because apparently Liverpool are going to be in for a few players. And I think we need to, because I think a lot of the players are either coming to the end of the contract or they're edging towards 30. So it's like we need to bring some of the youth in now and get some more younger guys in. But
Joe, that's probably a good point in which I can ask a question that I think I asked much earlier in the season, and it was perhaps a little unthinkable earlier in the season. But when you look at Mane, you look at Salah, and whether or not they're trying to hold the whole club to ransom in respect to new contract, is it time to cash in on the two of them and then maybe try to get yourself a pot of money in which you can actually go and buy somebody new and strengthen that team? Because actually, if you can get a bucket load of money for both of them, it could actually open up another possibility. I'd be interested in your views on that.
I would be okay with that, actually, because again, they're having pretty good years, but you got to look while they're playing. You got to look how many shots per game does Mane actually miss? He misses quite a bit. I mean, just by messing up, not so much as of late, but at the beginning of the season, whatever, he was missing the last few seasons. I can think that he's been the same too. He misses. Yeah, he might score 20, but he misses like 50, per year. So it's like, could we get someone better that's younger? Liverpool tend to have it zoned in on picking some really, really good players, like bring in a couple more Diaz, like him or whatever. I think that would be a good call, because you could probably get at least right now $100 million for each of those.
It's a good shout. Yeah, it's definitely a good shout. I don't know what the best thing to do is, really. I just trust in the manager and trust in what they've been doing, because I don't think, particularly in the last few years, I don't think there's another team that could really match Liverpool's recruitment at the minute and the success that we've had. And long may it continue, although we know it won't continue forever. We know it. Just these things don't last forever. It's like you've made some good decisions. You're not perfect all the time. Me personally, I've said right at the start of the show, I would love to see Jarrod Bowen with a Liverpool shirt on. I just think he ticks all the boxes for me, particularly up the front for us. He's got a bit of speed. He's got football cleverness. He knows how to find the goal. He's not selfish. He can play the game. For me, he's just the right fit for Liverpool. In terms of looking at it of recruitments, I think maybe an out-and-out striker. We've not had one for a few years. Would it work? I don't know. It seems to be the way City have gone with Haaland. Do we need to think about what our main rivals at the minute City are doing and thinking, do we need to match them? Do we need to be thinking about what they're doing? I don't know. But like I say, I trust Liverpool's recruitment and I trust what they're going to do. Bowen, for me, would be an ideal addition. For me, though, the important area for us is midfield. We need a midfielder. We do.
How does Man City afford all these superstars? I mean, now they're bringing in Haaland or whatever. He's like a superstar from. I mean, how do they afford all? They spent like so much on Grealish.
It's their owners, Charlie. They don't. You see, this is a conversation we have in this country a lot. I'm sure John has it as well, where he is and stuff like that. It's a conversation that goes on all the time. You have teams like Man City and Chelsea and now Newcastle who've been bought out by billionaires, and the billionaires throw their own money into the game. The first person to do was actually an English fella. I forget his name. He was at Blackburn.
Jack Walker.
Jack Walker, that's the fella. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Jack Walker bought. That was the first person to buy the Premier League or the league title over here. Yeah. And then it just seemed to set off a tradition then, because Rowan Abramovich come in not long after that and got Chelsea and took Chelsea to where they are now. Obviously, he's now been ousted by the UK government, but that's a different matter altogether. You've got,
let's not talk about that.
And then you've got the owners of Man City. I forget where they're from, Abu Dhabi or something like that.
Yeah.
And they just pump money into the club. So basically, Charlie, how they get away from the FIFA fair play rules is they have companies like Emirates or whatever it is, and they sponsor City and they give City obscene amounts of money. And it's the owners giving themselves money. It's just a workaround. And we can get into this. This is a good conversation to get into, because particularly the big stink at the minute is the Newcastle United away shirt. Looks remarkably like the Saudi Arabian national team shirt. It's green and white. Have you seen it? It's ridiculous. It's like I am now owning your club and you're going to look like my country. It's like it's just ridiculous.
Okay.
So, what you get at though as a Liverpool fan and a Man United fan is, yeah, but you just spent all the money. But what people don't forget is, we spend the money the club earns, and that's what I love about FSG. They don't put their own money. They put their own money to begin with, but they got Liverpool to a position where in the 90s, Man United just done it the right way, and they got themselves commercially right.
Yeah.
And they exposed all that, and Liverpool never ever done that. But FSG have come in and got Liverpool to expose their commercial power, because Liverpool and United are the two most supported clubs in the world. Within football, whether they're the most supported clubs of any sport is something I don't know, but they've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of fans around the world, Liverpool and United, and that's where they get the money from. But what I love about the way we've done it is when you look at the net spend we've done our net spend is really, really low. So our recruitment's been right. We've not had to spend we've spent a lot of money, but we've sold right as well, and we've bought right. And I think probably waffling on a little bit, but I think that's where that is really.
I'm going to add another little bit into this, because in defence of City, they've actually bought Haaland for an absolute steal of a money, because they actually, and that was cut that 60 million euro.
Oh,
which was covered by what they sold. Was it Ferran Torres that they sold earlier in the season? And they got bucket loads of money for him. There is a little bit at City, I think, where they're learning to live within that, not just the FIFA financial fair play, but also the FA and the Premier League limitations as well. Obviously, like you said, Stephen, they don't have this bigger overseas sort of income that United and Liverpool do, and indeed, I think Chelsea and Spurs tend to get quite a bit from overseas as well. City are very much on that precipice where they need that little cash injection from the owners, and whether or not it's legal or not, I think that I think they've been in court for about 4 years with FIFA, trying to sort out whether they've been on the right side of the FIFA financial fair play. And there's been lots and lots written by certainly Spanish and German media trying to have a pop at them. They've got good lawyers. They've got good lawyers. I think that's probably the best thing to say.
PSG are in the same boat as well, though, aren't they? At the end of the day,
yeah. 100%. Yeah.
But on the flip side to what I was saying, I'm pretty much in line with what you're saying there, John, is like, okay, because clubs like Liverpool, United, Real Madrid, AC Milan, all them, they got the money, spend it because of success. Does that mean that, these other clubs who are coming up shouldn't be finding ways to get to compete with that? Because it's not like when we were setting up our fan base and setting up our success, it was easier. There wasn't as much money in the game then. Where the amount of money in the game now is just obscene. So is it wrong for them to get that cash injection? I wouldn't say it isn't. I wouldn't say that, because at the end of the day, the more teams that can go and compete and go win them trophies, the better for the sport and all, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would rather than someone having to get cash injection, I'd rather them just to control the money, because at the end of the day, this is a working class sport. And the working class people just can't afford to go to the game no more. It's just ridiculously obscene prices. For me, I couldn't afford my two lads to the game. There's just no way. There's no. You're talking. If I was to take, if it was to be me and me two boys to go to the games at Liverpool now, we're talking well over £100 just for the tickets.
Yeah.
Then you're talking how much it is for the drinks at half time and the food that goes with it. And then the kids are going to want the badges, the scarves, the flags that go with it, and the program. I remember in the 90s when I used to go regularly for myself. I could afford to take myself and I could afford to get me match day program. I don't think kids can afford to do that now.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous where the cost has gone now.
And I think the other thing I was going to add in there as well, Stephen, is actually we need to look at what's happened in Spain and in Italy.
Yeah.
Because when the TV money dries up, or when it's certainly in Spain when the TV money kind of went up the creek, you look at the problems that Madrid and Barcelona have still got, and that the mortgage to the hill, that they're reliant upon. Barcelona in particular are reliant upon players coming in who are at end of contract. They've been very clever in doing that this season. They will be very clever again over the summer in actually negotiating deals with players who are out of contract. They won't cost a transfer fee, and then the negotiation is purely based upon salary. And as much as many Chelsea fans would like to see Rudiger stay, he's sort of nailed himself to the mast early doors there and decided, I'm going to take as much money as I possibly can.
No, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's all get Madrid. He's already signed. He's gone.
Yeah, but it's just like that, and that sums it up though. It sums it up though. It's just like there's no, the Spanish clubs in particular are looking for the offset from the Premier League. Italian clubs are still looking for those players. They're like, the likes of Tammy Abraham last season, who followed Mourinho to Roma, and indeed the original Pogba deal when Pogba went to Juve, and then for some bizarre reason, Jose decided he wanted to buy him back at Man United. What a bit of business that was for Juve. You buy him get him for free at the end of his United contract, and then basically you sell him back to them for funny money, and then he probably offered them about 20 million in the summer and say, "I'll take him back again."
I don't know what's going to go on with United. That's a conversation on itself, isn't it? With United,
I dread to think. I have, and without a big insight into what's going on at the club, I think there's lots of stories coming out, even the past week, of players falling out. A bit of a stramash, I think it was the description on the training pitch on Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's just, don't know. We'll. I think United would be a strange one to just see through and see exactly just where their close season's going to go.
It'll be interesting. Going to be interesting indeed. I'll tell you what is going to be interesting as well is that little relegation battle going on between them three clubs there, John.
Yeah.
You're a bit close to one of them.
I missed the Everton game. Tell me what happened. Why were you guys down to 9 guys? Were you guys just going crazy or what?
No. It's another one of them ones that if you were top 6 club, you would have got a penalty, and the lad who got sent off, it would have gone to VAR. They would have overturned the red card, and you would have got a penalty up the other end. because you had a player whose shirt was being ripped from him, but they ignore that because like you're down at the bottom, and Michael Oliver is the font of all things that will be known next year as Mike Dean. And
no, he's gone.
Yeah, but he'll be the next one. He's the next one. Look at me. He's sent off an Everton player, and I can't remember what the stat was this afternoon. I think we've had 4 send-ins off in the last 6 games he's officiated us, and I thought it was really harsh this afternoon. I thought VAR should have stood in and actually given the penalty for a foul on Richarlison before the sending off, but they didn't have the. I'm trying to think of the polite way of saying they didn't have the ability, or the need, or the want, or the wish to actually revert back to the VAR.
It's the courage, John. It's the courage, not the word that begins with B and ends in
R. Tell you what, just
have Everton paid their dues to the Illuminati this year?
Probably not, Charlie. And I think that becomes part and parcel of it. You know, this is getting. It's getting to the stage where
the cynicism I do. I love the cynicism.
Oh,
it's brilliant.
It's horrible.
It's
horrible.
You're in the top 6. You've got a penalty. I love the cynicism in
yeah,
this.
I think you would though. But you would.
I get where you're coming from, John. But
if you see City defenders walking across or running across an attacker time and time again, it's a deliberate move to break up the play. I think even this afternoon, commentator described it was a tangle in the legs, right? But it happens and you're in a City shirt, then suddenly it's like, it's a 50-50. But this afternoon it wasn't. It was just decided it's a straight bloody red. And I just thought, well, do you know something? 18 minutes into a game, that's the last thing we needed.
To be fair to the referees, though, John, today, City had a good shout for a penalty in the first half themselves and didn't get it.
Yeah.
VAR turned. I agreed with the referee as well.
Yeah.
But I've seen the 2 red cards. I don't know whether it was I didn't see the first half of the Everton game. I only seen the replay of the incident that got the guy sent off. Yeah. And for me, it was soft.
It was. Yeah. No, thank you.
I'm presuming it was a second yellow card.
No, it was straight red. Straight red for denying a goal scoring opportunity.
No, but it wasn't a denying a goal scoring opportunity, though, John. No. You had 2 Everton players either side of them. It's just, it was because when I looked at it, I went, it must have been the second yellow because there's no way that's a straight red.
Straight red.
That it's a straight. But then he said he's only getting a 1-game ban, which said to me, well, that must definitely be only the second yellow because you only get a 3-game, you only get a 1-game ban from a red card and from 2 yellow cards. If it's 1 straight red card, it's normally a 3-game ban, isn't it, mandatory? And he's only got a 1-game ban.
Yeah, hang on, just have a check. I definitely think he hadn't been booked before.
The second one was a straight red.
Oh God, yeah, that was Rondon. I don't even know what Rondon was thinking of there. I'm
going to be a bit controversial here and say, do you know what? I don't think it was a sending off. And the reason I say that, I know he's got the 2 feet up, and he's not ran and lunged through the player. He sort of just done that kind of motion, and for me, there's a grey area there, and I think he wasn't really endangering him. It was a stupid tackle. I mean, who tackles like that? It's like, even me 7-year-old also wouldn't tackle a ball like that. It's a bit of a silly one, but that first one, I thought that must be a second yellow card. But even
it was. I just double checked. It was a straight red.
Straight red. Wow.
Yeah.
That'll get overturned. That you can appeal that, and I reckon that'll get overturned. Yeah. Because he's got the 2 players there. I know there's definitely one on the left hand side, and I'm pretty sure there was another one on the right hand side. Everton shirts there. So
I thought so.
It's not a clear goal because these guys can come in and no, well, I disagree, and I can understand why the Evertonians are aggrieved with that decision. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think what goes for you today is that Burnley got beat as well.
Yeah,
and Leeds could only muster the draw at home.
Yeah.
So for me, obviously going to the final game of the season. I know you guys have got to play, and Leeds have got another game in midweek.
Yeah.
But Burnley have played all their games but the final one.
Yeah.
So, no, is it the other way around that Leeds have played? I can't remember now. But
Leeds are the ones that play next. They play Brentford away next Sunday. Burnley have got Villa away on Thursday, and then Newcastle at home on the final day of the season. And we just cannot take it to the last game of the season, because actually, Arsenal away, like I've said for weeks, it's just never gonna.
No.
It's never going to happen.
You were never going to beat Chelsea at home, though, were you? And you did.
No, well, that's true. Yeah, I'll take that one.
I think. Who have you got in midweek?
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace at home. So
I think it's
basically.
I think
I thought we could have done something today, and I just felt that once we went down to 10 men, that was going to be very difficult.
Brentford are just one of them teams this season that you've been a thorn in a lot of sides. Had a lot of sides. It's been a thorn for a lot of people. So it was always going to be a difficult game. But I was with you, John. I thought most of Everton's points have been at home.
Yeah,
predominantly at home. I thought you'll probably get at the very least a draw off Brentford. But the red cards haven't helped you. They just haven't helped.
No, not so. And we've got to walk on. We've actually got to get to Thursday.
What are you going to do, John? What are you going to do? Do say that again. What are you going to do? Walk on.
Yeah. We do, because we've got no choice, Stephen. We have got no choice, because actually you've got to dust yourself down after this today. Even the atmosphere in the stadium changed after the red card. The whole of that pre-match bit where the crowd, the Everton fans in the past few weeks have been absolutely immense. And instead of whinging and instead of adding to the nervous energy within Goodison, they've turned it the other way, and they've cranked up the noise, they've cranked up the support, and we might get to the end of the season and realise, maybe all of that was for nothing. But you can't turn around as a fan and say, well, anything is going to be put on the Everton fans, because they've been nothing short of absolutely incredible. And I think the past, certainly that Chelsea game, I think that was born of Everton, of Everton fans, rather than even the team on the pitch. It was, it seems bizarre, because actually you think that in this day and age it should just be on the quality of your team, but no, the fans have had a massive impact on it, and we need to do the same on Thursday. That's all we can do, because I'm expecting nothing next Sunday, and actually the only thing we could actually hope is either Leeds lose, Burnley lose twice, and then we'll be laughing. And I still have a horrible doubt in my mind. You can't be dependent on other clubs, and we just can't. It's not possible. So, and I just don't want to be in that. Next Sunday is going to be just horrible. I took to it after the send off today. I just went out and I went cut the grass, and I just got out, because I just couldn't. I couldn't physically sit and put myself through that, because actually you knew where the game was going in some ways, but it's not about the past 3 or 4 games. It's the whole season. So if you do go down, it's all getting chucked at Rafa at the end of the day.
Of course it is. It's all Rafa's fault. It's Rafa's fault. It is. It's got nothing to do with what's been going on over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, John, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of Liverpool fans are hoping, that Liverpool do the quadruple and Everton get relegated, because that'd be the perfect season for them. But for me, on a personal note, I love the derby too much.
Yeah, I've read that quite a lot this week, Stephen. I would say there are a lot of Liverpool fans who are out there who are hoping.
The bitter,
You know.
John. It's like,
No, but no, there's a lot that are hoping that we stay up just purely for the derby because actually it's a massive week in Liverpool. You know that whole run up when you go to work.
you know, it's our number one game. You know, I live in Cumbria now, and there's a lot of Liverpool fans up in Cumbria, and they have a pure hatred of Manchester United, and Manchester United's their number one game, and I get that. You know, I understand that because, you know, it is a big game. But when you come from the city itself, the biggest game in the season is always Everton. Always has been, always will be.
Yeah.
Everton, the first game you look for as a lad growing up in Liverpool.
It's when the date of the derby game.
When's the derby? When's the day I can crow to me mates that we're the best team in the city? Or when's the day that I need to go hide them because we've been beat by the other team? You know, it's like it's just one of them. But you know, it's like, yeah, I just don't want to lose the derby. I don't want to lose the derby. I'd rather lose Man United than Everton in the league. I really would. Yeah. Not lose two, but lose the team out of, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough week, and I've got to say, next Sunday, I will be here, irrespective of what. But it's going to be it's hard. It really is. I'm really at a stage where I've got such, you know, my kids are brilliant because they're in that naive sort of denial stage. So they're actually there and they're just watching, hoping. And I can't. I just have to go. I have to get out. I can't sit and watch it because I can see exactly where it's going. And
that was a bit like me in the penalty shootout yesterday, John. I don't know what you were like, Charlie, but I just could not watch that. In fact, when Mane was taking his, I walked out the room. I just couldn't watch it. Yeah. I couldn't watch it. And then the Aussie head offside, and the kids was, he saved it. Yeah.
But,
I know it's all Premier League, but come on, John. We've only got 15 minutes left. Let's crow about.
Well, I'm going to twist it a little bit because actually, given the fact that it's getting to the business end of the fantasy football season as well, me triple captain on Richarlison today, and he's got Crystal Palace at home again on Wednesday night, has brought in so far 36 points purely on Richarlison. I also had Jamie Vardy and I had Harvey Barnes, both of whom scored again for Leicester today as well. So
I'm 2 points behind you, John. I beat you last week, and I'm 2
you
points
did
behind you. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've not been at that top spot at any point.
And I was sweating a bit on that, Stephen, I tell you. So
it just be my luck to get there just towards the end, and then it just all goes to pot. You know, I'm just.
It could be worse. Could be worse. You could be like Charlie, who was celebrating winning the whole thing in the middle of October.
I'm playing Charlie this week, so I'm hoping Charlie has a bad week this week.
Well, there's a win for you right there. There you go. I can't win anything.
I'm beating you by a point, Charlie.
Next season, I'm keeping my mouth shut. That's what I'm going to do.
I'll tell you what you did do to Charlie. I've kept Salah in, but after the final, as he got it pulled off, I should have changed Salah out the team. But you still got him as captain, I see.
It won't let me change. Will it let me change for Southampton?
No, you missed the one for that, but you can get it for next weekend.
Yeah. You think they're not going to play him next weekend?
No idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
no idea.
Here you go, John.
There you go, Tyler. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
I think I'll sell Salah and bring in Diaz.
Oh, never mind. Of course, yeah, that's what it's all about. Is you got more Disney dollars, so I can bloody loot win. Yeah, whatever. John is absolutely smashing it this week.
Yeah,
absolutely smashing it.
Inspired substitution of or inspired transfers this week.
In the week
and I've
you're
got
playing average, though.
exactly.
72.
But I desperately needed points against. I'm some of my other leagues. I won them in second place and won them in third place, and I needed to mix it up massively to try and claw back. And
well,
yeah, it's been an interesting weekend of football.
To be
so,
I showed you the trophy that the winner's going to get. It was only a cheap one. It wasn't expensive or nothing like that. So it's only a little one, but it's good. But because I'm not very technologically great, it froze on me. I was doing it on the internet. I put what I wanted to have it all etched with and all stuff like that. And it all froze. I went to press pay. It froze on me. Then kind of refreshed the page. Like, it hasn't gone through, so I pressed it again, and I didn't get one trophy. I got 2 trophies. So, and they both say the same thing, by the way, because it's exactly the bloody same thing. So, yeah, great. So what I'm going to do is there's 2. I'm going to send one out to the winner, and I'm going to send one out to the runner-up. It looks like
excellent.
And that's where we're going to go.
Cool.
Yeah, so when we're offline, obviously, offline, is when we're into the who gets it and does what. Let me know your address where I can send it to, and I'll get it out to you.
Fab. No, superb. Really good. No, a really nice way of doing that, Stephen. And I've got to say that the fantasy football part of it has been quite intriguing because actually.
I like it. How many trophies, Sarah's saying? How many trophies? You know what it is, because it's you, Toby, you faffing get you more than 2 of them. Yeah, it'd be good. I'd be honest with you, and we'll do it next season. But what we need is another person to come and join us, because then this week where one of us is playing Mr. Average, the goes away.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone else who wants to join, let us know. We'll get you in.
Having said that, playing the average score has actually been one of the most tricky ones as the season's gone on, and also a really good point. I think we mentioned it a couple of months ago, but playing Harrison has been the most horrible bit about all of this, because some of his choices every single time, and he just comes up against something every single week that kind of throws him away, and it's been so unfair, Harrison. So. Yeah, if you, more than anything, I think he deserves that other trophy as well, because actually he's been hard done to.
Well, I'll tell you what, John. If I go run it up, right, I won't give it to him. But if you come run it up, I'll give it to him. Saves me the both all the way around.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm just totally. Sure.
No. If I come runner up, Addison can have mine. I agree with you, John. I think he's had a real stinker of a season. It doesn't matter what he's done. And even when it gets to, I've got this, I've got that. Yeah, but you're playing average.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if anyone wants to join, if Josh wants to get involved, get him involved.
No, because he beats me. So he beats me. In the fantasy, it's him up against in 2 other leagues, so we're absolutely, and I should have won last season, and he beat me on the last day of the season.
Oh yes,
absolutely good. Yeah, exactly, Sarah.
The fatherly love from me and Johnny. Me and Johnny going no.
There could be out and out warfare in this house again next Sunday. So.
Come on, let him get involved.
That's it.
Stacey. We're ignoring Stacey. Stacey jumps in. Why doesn't Stacey get involved? Come on, Stacey. You get involved.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. That means Charlie would have 2 teams.
No, I'd be setting her up trying to finish above her. It's all Everton players. Go ahead. They're good.
Everton players.
I tell you what. I tell you one thing we haven't really mentioned today, and actually, looking down the list of games, did anyone watch the Spurs Burnley game?
Yes, I watched it.
Was it a penalty? Because actually,
I'm trying to think of it now.
Yeah,
it was arm out, player pushing him, and actually, it was Ashley Barnes, and actually, I thought it was really hard.
I don't know.
no.
Yeah, I know which one it is now. It's where he's got his arm out and it's smoked his arm.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? And your Josh will probably be able to give us more insight because he's a referee himself.
Yeah.
Is for me, and I mentioned the second red for Everton being a grey area for me.
Yeah.
There's so many grey areas in the rules of the game. It's unbelievable. I don't think that really constituted a penalty because he's done that. The ball's sort of gone there. Yes, his arm's in an unnatural position. Can someone please tell me what a natural position is, an unnatural position is? Because for me, your arm can only ever be attached to your body anyway. So
the thing with
I'm lost with that.
The thing with that for me, right, his arm was out like that, right? But the ball came in from that direction. It was crossed in from that direction. So it's not like he was like this. It was more like he was like this when the ball was coming in. And then the guy just hit it so fast that, his arm was here. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
It came in, boom, and it was like he didn't have any time to even tuck his arm. So that's why it wouldn't be a penalty for me. But
I think as well, and I think this goes back to by the actual law, it was a penalty. But to be honest, the law's a bit of an ass in some respects because there's no way, just like you said, Charlie, you can't jump with your hands tied behind your back because actually.
Well, wait a second. Yeah, the law actually says if you're in the top 6, it's a penalty. So yeah, it was a penalty.
Yeah. No,
the law says, Charlie. That's what it is.
Top 6, give them a penalty. That's it. I don't think that.
They were in the top 6, John. That's why he got it.
But do you want the other one as well? Because when we played Man City, Rodri had exactly the same thing, right? Rodri's arm.
That is, I'm not being funny, not John. That will go down. If Liverpool lose the title by 1 point, which is probably going to happen now, that will be the one where most Liverpool fans will go, hang on a minute. You was a clear handball and VAR helped City out there and got them the title. Because for me, that's City drawing that game. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
And that's where the point earlier in the show was. It was basically based around the fact that if you're top 6, you tend to get those decisions, and if you're in the mire, refs can't be bothered. Or maybe it could be the fact that refs don't particularly like going to Burnley or they don't like going to Everton. They want to go somewhere different next season. Maybe let's mix it up. And the other one as well today.
Yeah,
well done, Norwich. Norwich got a point away at Wolves because I was quite pleased with that.
I know what's going on there. Norwich are dead and buried. Wolves have had a half decent season, and they're drawing 1-1.
Yeah, and I think as well. I think for Wolves it puts paid to them qualifying for Europe, and maybe that might be the aim. It might just be the fact that they don't want to play in Europe next season. So
possibly,
who would know? Who would know?
Right. Well, 2 big games in the cups this weekend. Before we go on to Liverpool's great second trophy of the season, Chelsea's women did the domestic double today. They won the league last week,
and they won the FA Cup as well. Yeah,
Man City women.
No.
But then, what do you think? Right, here's one. Like, we're getting to the end of the show, and here's one that I've seen talked about over and over again. And as a young lad, when it first started happening at Wembley, and the first big occasion was probably 1989, when the whole ground done this, booed the national anthem in at Wembley. It's a lot of people have took a bit of a dislike to Liverpool fans for doing such, but I think it comes with a little bit of a lack of understanding, really, of why Liverpool fans do that. I thought that's, and what I didn't get though was the Liverpool fans booing "Abide with Me," because I think that's one of the greatest hymns of all time.
Yes.
Abide with Me. I didn't quite understand that one, but particularly the monarchy, the establishment, the people of Liverpool have always been against it for a long, long time, and for many reasons that we don't need to get into right now. I just thought, what's your thoughts on it? What did you think of that, of Liverpool fans booing the national anthem?
Go on, Charlie.
I don't remember the Liverpool fans booing, so I must have missed it. Something maybe it was covered up over here in the States.
Yeah, maybe they turned it down on the audio.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Stephen, I'm totally with it. I understand why Liverpool fans do it, and I think Everton fans would do the same if we were in a similar position. It's not about anything else but how I wouldn't even say it's not just a Liverpool thing. It's how the north of Britain are currently being treated by government, and obviously the monarchy are the people in charge of the government.
Definitely.
And if you actually have the ability to make some form of protest, because actually our voices are not being heard, and I think that was a prime example yesterday of the Liverpool fans actually showing that there's still that social injustice, and that whole thing where I think for many of us in this country, we're very aware that we're heading back to times that we've not seen since probably the 70s.
We probably are. We probably are. And I think I don't want to get too much into the debate on it, but for me personally, if you're going to have a national, let's take it away from the core reasons why I think we all know what them core reasons are, and that's how the city's been threatened by the country for many, many years. You can't. You cannot get someone like me who's patriotic behind the Union Jack. I love the Union Jack to bits. I love it. I love Rule Britannia. I love all that. I'm British to the core. I'm 100% patriotic towards that, and I am patriotic to the people of Britain.
Yeah.
What I can't get behind, and I really can't do this, is get behind a song that sings about one of its bloody citizens of the country. It's one of its citizens.
Who we all pay for.
Should I be singing there saying, God save one of our citizens? If it was say, God save all of our people of the land of Britannia, whoa, I'm 100% behind it. But why should I sing about one of its citizens? And also, the freedom to protest. We are the birthplace of your freedom of speech, your democracy of the modern world. We are the birthplace of that. And I will say this, I've read some really far right-wing articles today and far left-wing articles which got the picture completely wrong, just on equal measures. That you cannot sit there and say you are a defender of free speech and then say, go after all these people for booing that song, because you have a right as a freedom of speech to say whatever you want to bloody say, as long as it's not inciting violence and not inciting harm. I don't see any violence or any harm in booing a song you don't agree with.
Yeah, totally agree. And actually, I actually read something, and this probably is taking it way off a tangent, but there was the article I read was, and this is to bring Charlie back into it, was of an essence, and it was of a moral magnitude in the same way of Colin Kaepernick, the quarterback who took the knee and decided that he was wanting a voice, and it was portrayed in this article. And I just thought, do you know something? That's probably exactly it, because actually, as sports fans, you could become subservient to your own club. You're expected to turn up smile politely as you get done for emptying your wallet at the turnstile, and it's got to be. Football is, like I think Stephen, you said at the very start of the show, it is a working class game, and it's for the working class, and it should always be the case. And if we you think of some of the chants that came out from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, they've always been that voice from the terrace that has wanted change, that's been wanting a voice. And for far too long, that voice has not been provided. So, yeah, I was quite happy with it. I like that.
Whether you agree with it or not, they had the right to do it.
Yeah, too right. Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Right.
What's your view of that, Charlie? Well, I'd like to understand your view of all that. Like, what do you think of, do you think the Liverpool fans were wrong to boo the national anthem? I know.
No. Yeah, I agree, you guys. People should be able to have a voice. When someone's voice is taken away from them, that's when things get ugly.
Yeah.
You can't be a cheerleader for free speech, but only when it agrees with you.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't do that. So
exactly, that's where I was coming from. That's where I'm at. Is it's I hear people say stuff that I just completely disagree with all the time. But one thing I will always do is stand in their corner for their right to have that view, whether I agree with that view or not.
Yeah.
It's what we should always be able to do. Authority and government are man-made things. They're not God-given things. They're man-made. Your freedom to express yourself and your freedom to say and have your own thoughts is a God-given right, as far as I'm concerned, and you should be allowed to do it, whether people agree with you or not. But anyway, on a high note, you don't have to put up with us much longer because we've only got one more show left.
Yeah.
This season.
I am so not looking forward to next Sunday. I really am, guys. This next Sunday could be possibly one of the worst days of my entire life.
Yes, but John, you've got two good friends here who are going to help you through that. All right.
And rip the absolute out of us.
No. See, that was Charlie being cynical. I was being cynical.
I tell you what. In the past, it was great. I could just go and find a stone to hide under if we were going to get relegated. Now it's going to be that whole thing about being online, and it's just like, I just don't know. Let's just hope we beat Palace. I just hope we beat Palace on Thursday. That's it.
Just remember, from a Liverpool perspective, everything's gonna be all right. Nah, I'm pulling for you. I hope everything stays up.
No, I know you both there, but it's just not going to be good.
The Sunday after is the Champions League final.
Yeah.
And we've been looking at places to watch it, and there's a Liverpool supporters club opened up in Orlando in 2015.
Really?
But it's a good half an hour away from the parks, so I don't know whether we'd end up going there. And the Uber looks like a bit very expensive, so I don't know.
Is this Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. Oh, sorry, it's the Saturday. Sorry, it's the Saturday. You're right. Yes, the Saturday.
Yeah, I know that we arrive. We're taking like a 24-hour drive in the U-Hauls, and we arrive like that afternoon. So
you're going to be too tired, Charlie. You watch it in the house.
I'm going to try to. We have the cable guy meeting us at the house at 2 p.m. He has 1 hour to set up that cable, man. I'm going to put up. That's the first thing I'm putting up is that TV.
Charlie,
well, all I hope, Charlie, is you don't get Jim Carrey. I hope you don't get Jim Carrey's cable.
I'll tell you what, I could be straight down to Miller's. Orlando Ale House. Let's just get it sorted. Straight in there. 15 tellies all around you. Champions League on. You'll be sorted.
On that note, lads, let's call it a week. Let's call it a night. I don't know how many people's left watching, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for enjoying it. And obviously Sarah and Stacey getting involved, and Addison as well.
Absolutely.
We're back next week for our last week, and next week we're going to be looking at who's going to be with it, who's won the fantasy league. If this, the award for that. And also, John, I didn't mention before we go off, I've put a bit of a sheet together. You know, our predictions at the start. So we've got point systems.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we need to discuss the point system because we'll do this off air and agree it properly.
Yeah.
But I was looking at, now I had the champions Man City up and I was saying 10 points for them, 5 points for the bottom three. We got them in the right place. But I think the fair thing is to drop that to 5, the champions, because I was too far ahead. Because I didn't want you thinking I'd rigged the points for my benefit.
Brilliant.
We've got as it stands at the minute. We've got Charlie on 7 points, John on 15, and me on 19.
Whoa!
And I've got the top 4 in all the right places.
That's impressive.
Impressive. Right places at the minute, but Arsenal yet to play. But we'll go through that next week. We'll dish out the winners for that. I'll tell you what. That's what the second trophy will be for, right? So the trophy.
There you go.
You got the trophy for the Fantasy League, even though it says champions of the Fantasy League. The next one will be who's the champions of the Prediction League, and we'll give that out.
He's already put Steven on both of them. You know
I have, yes. That's right. There's anything wrong with that. There's no bribery here. There's no game fixing, but Steven is on the back of every single one of them. If I'm losing, if I'm losing next week, we'll renegotiate the point system.
Oh.
But that's what we're going to do next week. We're going to do that. We're going to sign off next week. Hopefully, John, you're not in just too bad a play. I reckon you'll be in a good place next week because I reckon Everton will have secured their Premier League status, and we'll all be good. And we can have a good show on talking about winners of the Fantasy League, winners of the Prediction League, and then we can have a look at, and then we've got 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks off, and then we'll start looking for next season.
Absolutely.
But on that note, thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Bye. Start looking for next season.